we're going to be playing. I have kind of all of my things set out here. So I'm going to go ahead and switch my screen so that you can see. I want to show you what I'm going to be working with today. Okay. All right. Well, first off, we're going to be working with some beautiful napkins. Again, these are some napkins from the Joy to the World Napkin Bundle. This is just a few of them that I pulled to the side here. We're also going to be working with these beautiful glass ornaments. Now, these are very thin, but they actually are glass. They're not plastic. You can do this same exact technique I'm going to show you today with plastic ornaments. It's going to be great for anything that's clear. Okay, anything that's clear. These came from Hobby Lobby, and these are my favorite. I always pick some up every single year when they put them out. This is a great one because it's a square, and so it's completely flat, and that makes it very easy for our napkin art to go onto. So I love the square flat ones. Okay, and then this is my other favorite one. It's more like a disc. It's kind of like a disc. Let me show you. Do you see? It's not like round like a circle. It's a little more flat. Now it does have a little bit of curvature to it, but not so much that it really affects our napkin art. Okay, so these are my two favorites. I love, and these are larger sizes. They do make smaller sizes, I believe, in the disc. I can't remember if they make a smaller one in the square. And they're usually sold in like sets. So it would be like a set of 3, a set of 6, something like that. And as most of you know right now, if you're in Hobby Lobby, a lot of the Christmas is already being discounted. So go grab you some of these after you watch the technique. And I think you're going to really enjoy making these. And again, these would be such great keepsakes and great gifts. The other thing I'm going to be using today is white paint. I'm going to use my Country Chic. This is a chalk and mineral based paint. It's great to use a chalk based paint because we are working on a surface that doesn't always lend itself well to like acrylic paint. So I love using this, and I'm going to be using the pure white. The pure white. Oh, I just realized I don't have a light on. There we go. Let there be light. Okay. This is a pure white. It's called Simplicity. So I like using Simplicity the most when I'm doing this particular reverse decoupage technique. So we do need some paint. That's what I'll be using. And then as far as the medium for attaching the napkin, we're going to use today Mod Podge, but this is the purple label. The purple label is hard coat. Okay, it's hard coat Mod Podge. It is a great Mod Podge solution for anything that's clear. Okay, for something that's clear. So I really love using the hard coat for these ornaments. Okay, hard coat Mod Podge. And then we're also going to be adding a few little, decorative whatevers. A few decorative extras. I love using gold at Christmas. So I'm going to use my gold Krylon pin. This is what they look like in the package. It's beautiful. It actually is 18 karat gold. So it's a beautiful, beautiful gold that we can add some gold accents. Very, very gorgeous. So I'm going to use this today. And then I'm also going to use this. And this is something that might be kind of new to some of you. It is a metallic wax, but it's something that you can kind of rub on. It's very pretty. I have vintage gold here in old silver. So you're going to get to see how these work as well. These are amazing. Oops. And we'll talk more about them when we start using them here in just a little bit. All right. The other thing about these ornaments is we can put stuff inside of them, right? We can put some stuff inside of them, and that makes them even more special. So I have a little cup here of iridescent snow. This is stuff you can get in any of your local craft stores. They make it in just white. They also make the iridescent. I really like the iridescent. I think it's so pretty. And then the other thing I'm going to use today are these little glitter pebbles. These little glitter pebbles, I just poured out gold and silver. There are other colors, but I think these will look best for the napkin art that I'm doing today. And really anything can go inside of these. Anything that can fit through the opening here can go inside. Okay, so I think it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have a great time today. And if you guys are ready, I'm ready to get started. You guys ready? Yes? Are you ready? Okay. I would also like to do a little gift away today. I would like to do a little gift away today. I actually have an extra ornament. So I'm going to start us a live gift away right now. Let me come over here and get that started. Now that we have all of you here watching. Okay. Okay, it's going to start collecting comments right now. And I'm going to send two of you. We're going to choose two winners today, and I'm going to send you each one of these ornaments. Okay. So, well, actually, the pair. I'm going to send you, we're going to draw two names, and two people are going to win a square and a disc ornament. Okay. Does that sound good? I promise we'll package them really, really well so they won't get damaged in shipping. Okay. All right. Well, I'm ready to get started. So let's go for it here. The first thing we have to decide, you guys, oh, I forgot, I am going to be using stickles as well. So if you have any kind of stickles, crystal, diamond, unicorn, those are my favorite ones. Looks like I have crystal right here on my desk. So that's the one I'll use, this pretty crystal color. Okay. So I am going to be using that as well. If your ornaments, if you've touched them a lot, you're going to want to clean them off. And just because there's a lot of oils and things in your fingers, usually I just use a baby wipe or a paper towel. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. You don't have to do anything, major, but we do want to make sure that they're clear of fingerprints and that they're clear of any kind of dust or debris, anything like that. Okay, I'm going to raise this up just a hair so that I can, so I have a little bit more room to work here. Okay, let's look at our beautiful napkins here. I love this angel. I love her so much. I think she's so pretty. So I definitely want to put her on an ornament. And so I'm going to go ahead and cut a square of this off. I want to put her in my Bible too. I want to do several things with her. I think she's so pretty. So in the napkin bundle, you'll have a napkin. So you'll actually wind up with 4 images of this. It's a beverage size napkin. That's what I meant to say. And then when you're looking at this, we're going to be looking at this from the back of the ornament. So when we get ready to put her on, we kind of have to think, okay, what's she going to look like, right? What's she going to look like through the ornament? And I apologize. There are lights all around me, and there is no possible way for me to, not have them showing up on this glass. You can see how pretty she looks even on this one. I'll try to hold it kind of like that to help. Isn't it pretty? I love both styles of these. Now, I also love this napkin. This napkin to me would be a great one to make, to give as gifts. It's beautiful because it has the nativity on it. I mean, all of the napkins are pretty. She's pretty too. But if you wanted to give something that kind of, lends itself to the Christmas story, look how beautiful something like this could be in this ornament. Isn't that pretty? I think it's gorgeous. Now, this is a guest house, so you actually have 6 of these. So you could easily make 6 ornaments. And then the Merry Christmas up here, we could put on the back. So we're going to play around with these today. I think this is going to be perfect for us. So let me cut us out a piece here. Now, the problem with a round ornament, because some of you may have some round plastic clear ornaments, the problem is that they have so much curvature, right? They have so much curvature that it makes it really hard, because if it's completely round, your napkin art can kind of get distorted because it's going to wrinkle up as you try to put it around. That's why I really love these. That's why I really love this, because we've got more of a flat space to work with. This one has a little curvature, but not a ton like a round ornament would. This is called a disc, by the way. This is a disc ornament. And the square one, of course, is perfect because it's completely flat. Okay. All right. So I'm thinking I'm going to put her, I think I want her on this one. And I'm going to do this one here. So when we get ready to put these on, if you have a pen, a pencil, something that you can kind of use to make a mark, I'm going to use my friction pen here because the friction pen disappears with heat. It disappears with heat, so it's nice because we're going to have to draw this line on the front of our napkin. That way, because we want to lay it where we can actually see what we're getting here. So I'm going to kind of put this right in the middle. I want the Mary and Joseph and baby Jesus, the manger scene right here in the middle. And I'm going to just simply trace around this. Now it's hard sometimes to get behind where the little attachment is, but as long as you get enough there, you'll be able to see kind of where to cut. And then I'm going to come in and just cut. You won't be able to get the entire image, but that's okay. We're getting the focal point. Okay. And even if you cut it a little wonky, it's going to be fine. I want you to see that it is going to, it'll kind of wrap up a little bit around the edges. So it's going to be fine just like that. That looks beautiful. So we have that one done. This one's a little more challenging, because it's not flat. So we're just going to hold it the best that we can. And I'm letting the pen just kind of go around. It's just kind of touching the ornament. And going around. So we'll have a little bit more to kind of wrap forward on this. And if we need to, we'll cut it down a little bit more. I'll show you. I'm going to show you. You're going to see every single step here. Oops. Does not have to be perfect because I have a little trick that's going to cover up the edges. So I don't want you to feel like it has to be perfect. I think we strive way too much when we're creating to try to make everything be exactly perfect. And that can kind of rob us of some joy. So you'll be, I think you can tell here. Let me turn it kind of here. Do you see how we're going to have a little bit of extra kind of right along here, but it's going to be fine. Look how precious that's going to be. Oh, so cute. These ornaments came from Hobby Lobby. Okay, these ornaments came from Hobby Lobby. All right, now that we have done this, I'm going to go ahead and separate my napkin. I just do kind of the lick and stick method. I just tap my finger and my thumb on my tongue. But if your spit isn't as sticky as mine, you can always just put a tiny little drop of Mod Podge on your finger. Tap it together until it's, just kind of sticky, not gluey. And we'll take those apart. Okay, it looks like this one only has one ply to take off, but this one had two. Okay, so we want to make sure we always take the plies off. Otherwise, our napkin art will try to kind of lift and release. So I want these pretty images to be sparkly. I want them to be sparkly. And when we do this reverse decoupage, it's kind of strange, but we're going to do everything kind of in reverse. That's why we call it reverse decoupage. Normally, we would be painting first, and then we put our napkin down, and then we put down our sparkle. We're going to do just the opposite of that. We actually need to put our sparkle onto the ornament so that it is in front of the napkin. Okay? Yes, so it's in front of the napkin. So that is exactly what I'm going to do right now. You can decide whichever side is going to be your front or your back. And y'all, this is really, really easy. Okay. I'm literally just going to be kind of dip dotting stickles on the back here. Can you see that? And then if you want to do this with a brush, you can. I usually just use my finger. And I'm going to tap, and I'm going to put stickles all over this back side of my ornament, because that's where we're going to be working. We're going to be working on the reverse side, right? Or I don't want to call it reverse side. We're going to work on the back of the ornament so our image can show through. All right, and just kind of bring it, you can bring it over to the sides. If we get too much, remember I have this little trick that's going to kind of help cover everything up. I'll show you here in a moment. Okay, so we just want to get it on there. Now, if you don't want to use your fingers for this, this is something you could easily do with a brush. So if you'd rather just come in and kind of pounce it with a brush, you can. I don't know why, I just use my fingers and then wipe my fingers off. Okay, so we need to have that on there. We're going to do it on both because I love adding the sparkle. I just love adding the sparkle. Okay, is it freezing? I haven't noticed anything on my end, Sally. I think you can even order these online. I'm pretty sure. So you can see just kind of getting that sparkle everywhere. Yeah, it's going to be gorgeous. If you have a baby wipe handy, that's what I'm going to use to clean my fingers up. And then we need to dry the stickles. We're going to need to dry it a little bit. So let me move my napkin art over here so it won't blow away. Now, some of you have heat guns that are like super duper industrial heat guns, like crazy hot. I'm using my Heat It craft tool, which also gets hot. It gets hotter than a blow dryer, but it's a little bit more concentrated heat. And so I want you to keep the heat moving. I don't want us to overheat the glass. Again, these are glass. And especially if you did have a plastic ornament, if you had a clear plastic ornament, you really have to be careful with your heat because you don't want it to melt. It would warp your ornament. So I'm keeping the heat moving, right? I do have it kind of down low, but I'm keeping it moving. I want to keep it moving here. And it shouldn't take long to dry because we just kind of pounce this on or brush this on. All right. Yes, Deborah, you can put the stickles under and it looks amazing. It looks so pretty when you look at the napkin art through the ornament. It'll start to feel kind of sticky, kind of tacky. Yeah, those of you, if you don't live near a Hobby Lobby, I would just order online. And there may be other, like I said, I imagine all craft stores carry something like this. So check your local craft stores. And of course, there's probably something online as well. Okay, so I think everybody can see that. I'm going to hold it up again. So see, it's just on the back. I'm going to turn it over so when you look through it, do you see how you see all that pretty sparkle? This one, love it. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, I think this one's dry enough. All right, next step is we're going to Mod Podge the napkin art on. And again, just to remind you, I'm using hard coat. I like to use hard coat with anything that's clear. We won't need much. And let's see, the square one is going to be my nativity scene. No pin work on these napkins because I can't seal the napkin till it gets on there, and you can't do pin work through the glass. So no pin work today. So I'm just going to layer down my Mod Podge hard coat. If you get a little outside the edges of your napkin, that's completely okay. Remember, we're going to have a little bit that's going to kind of go over the edge anyway. Okay, so it's going to look all milky. So that went straight on top of the stickles. All right, that went straight on top of the stickles. Now, for some of you some of you will prefer just putting these on the back like this. I'm going to do this one this way. On the other one, I'm going to do it differently. But this way you can see, and I'm kind of shifting it up a little bit you'll be able to kind of move it around. Make sure that you're looking at the back side of your napkin. Okay. This is the back side. So it's going front side down. And I'm going to use my plastic wrap here, plastic sheet. If you don't have any plastic wrap in your kitchen or somewhere, you can just use a chip brush to kind of pounce it down. Now be careful. Remember, these are glass and they are delicate. So don't use too much pressure. And anything that goes around the edge, we're just going to smooth it around that kind of rounded edge. Nothing has a sharp side on this ornament, so it's all rounded. So just go right around it. Okay. All right. And then we're going to lift this off. Oop, I see one little. There we go. Now I'm going to turn this over so that you can see what it looks like right now. It's going to look kind of strange right now because your Mod Podge is there, your stickles are there, the Mod Podge is still wet. It's got to dry. Okay, so we've got to give it a little bit of time to dry. So if you turn it over and you see this, do not panic. Do not panic. That's what you're supposed to be seeing. All right. So this one, again, same thing, hard coat Mod Podge. I love this technique. I'm going to do this technique with some photos. I'm printing some photos off on tissue paper. Did you know you can do that? You can make your own custom things. So I want to do this with some photos to do some keepsake photo ornaments. All right, I think that's plenty enough there. Now, if I wanted to put something else on here, okay, like these were from our printable, Oh Come Let Us Adore Him. If you did want to put something on from a printable, you would need to put this on first, wherever you want the words to be, before you put on the napkin, okay? These particular napkins I'm using today, there's really not a lot of room for other words. So I'm not going to do that. So I wanted to show you with the disc, a different way to put your napkin on. With the disc ornament, sometimes it's easier to just lay it on like this to catch the middle. Okay. And then once I've caught that middle part, then I can kind of start just lightly tapping in place. I'm going to slide this down just a little bit. You'll have a little bit of wiggle room here, but be very, very gentle with it. Now, remember, this one is the dome, or I'm sorry, the disc shape. So when you do start smoothing it, we're going to smooth in the center first. Smooth the center first. Okay, and then once you've smoothed the center, watch how I'm going to take my whole hand and go around the rounded edge. My whole hand. It is going to kind of wrinkle over a little bit on the edges. It has to, because it's rounded. It's not flat. And I like the look so much better when you just kind of take your whole hand and go around and just press any of that napkin down. I've got a little bit of excess napkin right up here, so I'm just going to take my fingers and kind of make sure that that part is down. I may have to cut that because I don't think I put Mod Podge that far up, but that's an easy fix. Okay, does everybody get that? Kind of wrapping it around, and this is the back side of the napkin that we're seeing. You always want to put the front side. We want to make sure we're seeing the front side when we turn it around. Okay, so again, she's going to be really milky white right now because she's not dry yet. Okay, she's not dry yet. So that's going to be our next step, is we need to dry these. We're going to let them just kind of sit for a second. And again, we can help the Mod Podge to dry a little bit. This is there is a smaller size than this. There is a large size. These are the larger ones. I haven't seen a small one in the square, but there may be. I didn't see any. But I did see that they have smaller sizes in the disc. They did have these. And that's all they had at my particular Hobby Lobby, were these. I didn't see any other shapes or sizes. Do you see how the napkin's kind of turning a little bit more white? That happens as it starts to dry. Now, just because we dried this side does not mean that the other side is dry yet. Okay, you can see it is drying, but there's still a little bit of wet. There's still a little bit of wet in there, but we need to dry the back for us to be able to do the next step. Okay, so again, don't worry about what it looks like from the front just yet. Okay, don't worry about that just yet. If you just signed on, I would love for you to just keep watching where we are and then go back, be sure and go back and watch the replay so that you don't miss any steps. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to seal this napkin. I have to seal this napkin. It's just napkin tissue. It's very delicate. This doesn't have to be a thick layer, but I'm going to put a layer of Mod Podge onto this. And then we're going to add some paint behind it, and I'll explain why. In just a second. Let's go ahead and get this part on. So the whole time we're working on the back, the Mod Podge in the front is still drying. Okay. Oh yeah, it did stick. Okay, that's good. Okay. So that process is just sealing it. Again, coming back to dry. This would be a great thing to do for multiples because you could do all of these steps at the same time on multiple ornaments. Especially with napkin art, it's great to do that because you have multiples of the images on one napkin. So it works great. Yeah, you can use clear plastic ornaments, Michelle, but you have to be careful about overheating them because you don't want them to warp or the plastic to melt. Okay, but yes, you sure can. It's just the napkin art is going to look so much better if you can find an ornament that is semi-flat. This one is totally flat. This one, the disc shape is a little bit rounded, but not like an actual circle round, ornament would be. Okay. It doesn't take too long for the front to dry. It'll be dry, but you'll be able to see here in just a minute. You'll see it finished. Okay, so I'm going to move on to our next step. And if you'll look at this angel from the back, you can see that she's very transparent, right? Let's look at her from the front. She still has a little bit of Mod Podge going on, but she's very, very transparent to the point that you almost can't even, you can't hardly make out her face. You know, it's kind of hard to tell because look, I'm on this brown craft mat. If she was in my tree branches, you know, your green tree, whatever would be showing through. This one has a little bit more saturated color, so it's not quite as important to do it on this one. But we're going to do it anyway because it's going to make a huge difference. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to paint behind our napkin art. Okay. Now, it may seem silly to you, but it makes a huge difference because it's going to give that white background behind that really thin napkin tissue so that all the details are going to pop. Right? You're not going to miss out on any details. They're all going to pop. That's why I have the Simplicity, the Country Chic paint here. That is what we're going to do next. That's why we dried this part. Now, I put Mod Podge on top of this napkin for a reason, because sometimes when we paint the back of a napkin, it can go through the napkin, and I don't want that to happen. I want it to stay on the back side. So by sealing the napkin first with that thin coat of Mod Podge, that takes care of that for us. Okay, that takes care of that for us. If all you have is the round, Marlene, like a round circle, you may want to just cut around some of, you know, napkin image, like cut around a napkin image. You may have to just do kind of smaller images rather than the whole background, because it will you're not going to, it's going to kind of distort if you try to do the whole background on an actual round ball ornament. Okay. Alrighty. So we're going to add some paint. Let me grab another brush here. And this is going to be very simple. Simple. And again, I don't want you to worry if we get a little outside of our lines. Our goal is just to paint where the napkin is. Okay. But if you get it outside of the edge, please don't worry. It's no biggie. So this is going to be just, again, it's almost like a spotlight. It's going to create kind of a spotlight showing through our napkin. That way we can see all of the details and they don't get lost. Won't take much paint. And sometimes I'll do 2 coats. I'd rather put on a thin coat and add a second coat than to put 1 thick coat on. I hope you guys are going to enjoy this technique. I love it. And I know my Napkin Club members, we just absolutely love it. We just have so much fun with it. So that's, to me, that's a good first coat. You're going to see some wrinkles and stuff. That's just from the napkin. Plus our napkin has glitter underneath there too. So, you know, glitter from the stickles. And I think on her, I'm going to do half of her. Just so you can see the difference. Let me get half of this painted and then I'll turn it around just so you can understand why I'm doing this. All right, you ready? Look it. Do you see the difference? Yeah, we can't hardly make her out over here. She's too sheer. The napkin's too sheer. Sorry, let me I'm trying to hold it where you can, there, that's kind of a good angle. But look at her now. We have to put white paint behind these ladies or gentlemen. I don't know who all's watching. Yeah, huge difference, right? Huge difference. So don't skip this step. I worked so hard to kind of perfect this process with napkins, and just trust me, just follow these same steps and your ornaments are going to just turn out so beautiful. Okay, now I want you to look back at this one. See how this one started to dry a little bit? Let's look at her now. Oh, look at her. She's so pretty and she's all sparkly. I love her. And this one, definitely much more clear. Beautiful. But I'm going to go ahead and put one more coat. So usually with chalk and mineral-based paints, the country chic paints, they dry super, super fast. So by the time you finish one, you should have no problem going back in and painting a second coat. This will also make it look prettier from the back. We are going to do something else to the back as well. And I'll share that with you here in a minute. Beautiful. All right. Now let's go back over to this one. Make sure you've given it just a little bit of time to dry between coats. And like I said, I'd rather do 2 thin coats than 1 thick coat. Just looks better. Could you use acrylic paint on the back of the ornaments? You can, but make sure that you use Mod Podge on, that you seal your napkin first, because acrylic paints especially have so much water in them that it will seep through your napkin and it could mess up your napkin art. Okay. And I don't want that to happen. I don't want that to happen for you. So just make sure that you seal that napkin. All righty. Let's see, Deborah, I guess I can't go over it since I sealed it with Mod Podge matte. If your napkin's been sealed, you can still, you want to seal the back of the napkin before you paint it. Yes. Always. We always seal our napkin art. Always. Don't be tempted not to. We need to seal it. We want these things to last forever, you know? Yeah, you could add the year on with like even like if you want to write directly onto the glass, it could maybe be like a Sharpie or a fine tip paint pen. You could stamp it out and decoupage it on the back if you want to. All right, let's make sure this is dry. Okay, so speaking of the back, I kind of want the back to look a little prettier than this. All right, especially if this is going to be a gift, you're going to give it to someone. We want to make sure that it looks really nice and pretty. So I want to show you a couple different options of what you can do for the back of these. I love using these paste waxes. It's kind of like it's in a tube. It's great. You turn the little what do you call this, the lid over, and just push it down and it punctures a little hole. Oh, sorry, punctures a little hole in there. You see that? So I'm going to squeeze this out on a plate, and I'm going to change my screen back. I'm going to squeeze this out on a plate. You can put this on with a brush if you want to, even your fingers. I'm going to use the gold, I think, today, but there is a color called Old Silver. Let me show you. That way you can see both colors. Love the Old Silver too. And it doesn't take much. A little goes a long way. So I usually just kind of squeeze out a little. Okay. And then if you've used a product like this before, again, I don't know why, but I like to use my finger for this. If you prefer to use a brush or an applicator of some kind, you can. But I'm going to take this gold and I'm going to kind of swipe it over all the back. Now, I'm not trying to cover up the whole thing. I kind of like the wrinkles and the crinkles and the texture, but it's just going to make it pretty, right? It's just going to make it look really, really nice and pretty. Doesn't take much. Just kind of sweep it out everywhere. Be a pretty kind of pretty gold accent. And I can still then write a message on the back. I could write a verse on the back. I could decoupage something on the back, which is what we're going to do today. And just as much or as little as you want. Take it around the edge. I have something else I'm going to put on the edge here. So it's okay if it doesn't go all the way to the edge. But you see how pretty that is? Let me kind of hold it where it won't glare. It just gives it a pretty kind of almost kind of a vintagey looking background rather than it just being just painted. I hope it shows up enough. On camera. And you can just control how much you want, how much you put on your finger. And I just kind of lightly go around it. And again, if you don't want to use your finger, you can use a brush or even like a makeup applicator, like a foam, piece of foam. I kind of like using my finger because I still want some of the white to show. So I don't really want to cover up all the white. I like the wrinkles and the crinkles and let's put a little silver on this one too. Does anybody like mixing silver and gold? Or am I the only one? I like silver and gold mixed together. So I can come in and just kind of rub in some silver wherever I want it to be. So then I have silver and gold on this one. Pretty. Come back and add a little more gold. It's just really however you want it to look. Okay. Hope that y'all can see that. It looks really good, really, really nice. Okay, the other thing is that the cool thing about this product is if you don't want your little thingy up here, your little ornament topper to be silver, you can change it. And even if you do want it to be silver, if you put some of the silver or the old silver wax on it, it kind of tones down and makes it feel a little bit more, I don't know, vintagey looking. But you can do the same thing with the gold. So if you want to add some gold on here, you can. And it will harden and it will stay. And it usually takes, I usually put like one application on and then I'll let it dry. And then I'll put another application on and it will become even more. But it just kind of helps to tone down that silver a little bit. But it's kind of fun because you can go over, you know, keys and all kinds of things. I don't know if you can tell. Do you see how that kind of toned it down? Let's look at it compared to this one. I don't know if you can tell. I'm going to let this one just sit for a second and I'll put another application on this one. This one has a pretty topper. Look at this one. This one's not just a plain topper. I just realized that. I had no idea. So, like I said, even if we come in with the silver, it just kind of gives it a little more elegance. I'll do silver and gold on this one. Yeah, it just kind of makes it a little more elegant. Very pretty. You can use your Krylon pen on this too if you wanted to. We'll do that a little bit too. But do you see what I mean? It just tones it down. So it's not so cheapy aluminum looking, if that makes any sense. And just kind of tap it on. It's almost easier, I think, when you leave it on the ornament. That's probably what I should have done on this other one. So I have a little bit of silver and gold on this one. That looks pretty. Let me go put this one back on here. Now, I like the idea of putting decoupaging something on the back. Oh, so much easier. Just leave it on the ornament when you put this on. Because every time you touch it, it's like it's coming back off. Beautiful. And it's just a simple step, right? See, isn't that pretty? I like it. Okay. So So we're going to go back to the back again. Clean off my finger again. We're almost done. We're almost done. All right. So I want to put something on the back of these because, you know, I have it. Remember this one? I've got this beautiful Merry Christmas right here that I could put. And so I'm going to just kind of do what I call a loose fussy cut around this part of my napkin. And like I said, you could actually write back there. You could do whatever you'd like. Let's see if that will fit okay. Oh, I might have to lose these. It's a little big. Okay, I'm just going to lose this little doohickey-doo there. I want to keep the angel feet. Okay, but look how pretty that's going to look on the back of this ornament, right? This is the one with the manger scene. So it already has the blue and all of that going on. Not worried about this. This stuff dries almost immediately. It will be completely cured, meaning like hardened to the surface. So it won't, you know, you can't manipulate it at all anymore. And usually about 24 hours. Unless it's like really rainy or something outside. If it's really raining outside, maybe a little longer. Using my Mod Podge. And then, oh, I could go straight. I think I'll just go straight with it. Merry Christmas. My gold and silver will kind of show through the Mary and the angels, and I think that's going to be actually really pretty. Again, remember, don't press too hard. This is a delicate, pretty thin glass. Beautiful. One little piece here. I'm going to cut around just a tiny little bit. And I need a little bit more Mod Podge right there under that little angel foot. There we go. Okay, so let's take a look at that. Isn't that pretty? So having something on the back is great. Someone mentioned a date. I think it would be very easy to come in here with, you know, a Sharpie. One of your Pitt pens would be great for this. Make sure everything is dry. Also, we have to put a top coat on this, remember, because it is a napkin. I'm going to let this dry for just a second, and then we'll come back and do that. On this one, I'm going to do one of my printables. Now, last time on our first workshop together, which I believe was November 17th. Wow, I can't believe I can remember that. I showed you how to print your printable onto gift tissue paper. Okay, this is gift tissue. So you can go back and watch that replay. It's on my page, and we also have well, I can't remember. Cheryl, did we put that on the Club Hub? I can't remember. Can't remember now. So this says, fall on your knees. Oh, hear the angel voices. Oh, night divine. Oh, night when Christ was born. That is a beautiful hymn, a beautiful Christmas song. Lines from a Christmas song. I'm going to come in and kind of carefully cut down a little bit of this excess paper off. I don't really like to have any straight edges. I want this to just kind of blend in a little more. And if you didn't use the gold or the silver, if it was just white, obviously this would completely blend in. So it's up to you. You don't necessarily have to do the gold and stuff on the back. I just think it's really pretty. All right, it once again. Mod Podge. Slide that on the back. Plastic wrap. And this is going to show through. Our gold and silver is going to show through our napkin, and I love this. So you could have done, you know, just, it could just be white, but I just wanted you to see how pretty this looks. Make sure everything's smoothed down really well. It's the one where we did the candles and the light, the canvas that lights up with the tea lights and the fairy lights and the bow. It was that workshop that I showed how to print your templates onto tissue paper. Look how gorgeous that is. I mean, guys, can I write that well? Absolutely not. So for me, I love the printables because then you can just print them out. I think that looks amazing. So let me put away this white paint. Put the lid on that. We're done with that. The next thing I'm going to do is just put a top coat, nice little thin top coat again. I want these things protected. I want them to last for years and years and years and years. I'm a very sentimental person, so I have that another little foot that's sticking up. I'll fix that. So I want these things to last forever. So pretty. Have to seal your tissue art as well. Okay. Now we're done with all of that. We're going to dry this. Okay, we're going to dry this. And then we're going to fill them up on the inside. And maybe do a little decorating on them. Sound like fun? Such a great technique. It's almost dry. Thank you, guys. Thank you. If you're in the Napkin Club or the Faith Journaling Experience group, the printables are in there for you already for you to use. If you're not in either one of those groups, they will come with your purchase of the Joy to the World bundle. Love it. Look how pretty. I mean, that is so gorgeous, isn't it? And of course, so pretty when we turn it around and we see our precious, beautiful little angel here. And I'm sorry about the lights. I'll try to hold it. Let's see if I can hold it up enough. Isn't she just the sweetest? She is just the sweetest. Let's look at this one. Now this one, it's all done. So if you did want to do pen work on this side, you could, or you could add stickles into the Merry Christmas or on the angels or something like that. You could totally do that. And let's look here. Again, we have all of our sparkle, a beautiful manger scene. So, so pretty. Okay, so next thing we're going to do, all right, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to put something inside of them. And like I said, you can put whatever can fit through, okay, whatever can fit through the hole, you can put in there. I have other ornaments like this where I've even squeezed in little tiny pine cones, you know, beads, pearls, anything, any little candy canes, you know how they make the little miniature size things. So, you know, you can put in pretty much anything. For these though, I wanted to keep them really pretty, kind of elegant feeling. I'm using some snow. This is iridescent snow. They make white snow and iridescent snow. You can find it at your craft stores. And also these gold and silver little pebbles. These are just little styrofoam balls covered in glitter. They're called pebbles. Okay, so we're just going to fill these up. Now, I want you to be cautious. Don't overfill them. Don't overfill them. And there's no real good way of doing this. Actually, let me put a paper plate underneath me here. The snow, here. The snow can kind of go everywhere. So I'm just going to sprinkle the snow in. I really just want this in the bottom of the ornament. I don't want to cover up too much. I don't want to cover up my manger scene, right? And definitely you're going to need a plate underneath you because it's just, unless you had like a funnel, maybe if you had a funnel, but I kind of like just seeing about how much is going in. Again, I don't want to cover up too much. I'm going to put in maybe just a little bit more. Okay. So it just depends. How much do you want to put in? I don't want to cover up baby Jesus. And then I'm going to come in and I'm going to add in some gold. Little gold balls. I'm going to go ahead. You can add in, I'm going to do it gold and silver. And then when you kind of shake it all up, it's all going to be kind of mixed in there together. And this kind of helps me to see, okay, like I think I'm going to add a little more snow. And then you can always come back. If you get too much, you just dump some of it out. I'm going to put my lid back on here. My little topper, I mean. And there you have it. Isn't that pretty? So pretty. Just having something kind of down in there. I think it looks gorgeous. Let's do the same on this one. So snow first. I haven't had any problem with like static with this snow. It's been just fine. I know sometimes there's that snow that's like little styrofoam balls, like the little, that sometimes I've seen those be kind of staticky. But the snow, the actual snow, the one that is snowflakes, I haven't had any problem with any kind of static in those. And again, we just have to decide like how much do we want to have in the bottom. Okay, I'll do about that much. And I have other ornaments, you guys, that I have made with this technique that I'm going to share pictures of on my page here for you. That have other things in them. I have, so I'll give you a little bit more inspiration on what all you could put in them. Isn't that sweet? I know, it's just so sweet. Okay. The next thing I was going to show you is that if you have any kind of issue, like if you feel like it got kind of yucky around the edges or something and you want to cover that up, that's something you could simply do with a ribbon if you want to. You could run some ribbon, especially around these. Ribbon works great around the square ornaments. The other option could be the little mini tinsel. This little mini tinsel is sold where like the little miniature trees are, gold or silver. This could be something great to put on them as well. So I thought I might do one of each just to give you an idea what this looks like. And I'm just using hot glue for this. So if you wanted to do, let's do the ribbon one first. So if you did want to do ribbon, I usually start right up here at the top, right up here. We're going to do some decoration on the top anyway. And I'm using hot glue for this. But I have a precision tip glue gun, so it doesn't release a lot of hot glue. If you wanted to use a double-sided tape, you could as well. And it just kind of helps clean up, gives us a nice clean look on the edges. You know what I mean? Just kind of nice and clean, except for I got this one crooked. Let's see if I can peel it back off real quick. All right, got this part crooked. It's still pretty warm. Okay, I might have to cut that part off. We'll see. This could be lace, trim, maybe even like if you had a really pretty washi tape, you could do a washi tape. Real thin, nice and thin with the glue. Okay, so you can see I'm going to just kind of stop right there, but we're going to finish this out because I think this ornament needs to have a pretty topper. And again, depending on what you want to use for that, it could be any kind of ribbon. I use some of this, I think. I've just got some ribbons and things over here that I can use. Now this, I'm going to kind of go underneath, kind of going like underneath the topper here, just in case for some reason we need to get that back out. But actually, once we start putting stuff on here, we're not going to be able to take that topper off. So be sure that you have whatever you want inside of it first, okay? Be sure you have whatever you want inside of it first before this. I'm just going to do a very simple bow here. Sorry, I'm trying to do it to where the dots show up on the loops. Okay, yeah, that's the way. All right, so I'm going to go down. I'm going to go up and through. Perfect. And it's up to you, like how, you know, how ornate you want this to be. I don't really want anything covering up. I'd rather my tails of my bow come off, you know, kind of up here off the side. So I'm going to actually cut them kind of short. I don't want to cover up the napkin art. And I'm going to turn this. Sometimes I use a little dot of glue to make my bows do what I want them to do. Okay, so we kind of have a pretty bow right here. The other thing I think that would look really pretty would be a little bit of greenery. And it doesn't have to be a lot. I mean, I know some of you are going to like, you know, more greenery than others. Let's keep this one a little more simplified. So let me grab a couple of pieces of greenery here. So I'm just going to cut this down a little bit. Don't need to be quite this long. And then I'm going to put some greenery right up here. Again, this is just personal preference. And of course, you're going to have ribbon going through your loop as well. Okay, so do you see? Pretty, pretty, pretty. Sorry, I need to shake my stuff back up again. Isn't that pretty? And then, of course, you're going to have your loop. If this bothers you kind of right back here, that's where we can just kind of tuck in a little bit more greenery or something else back there. You could even have it be double-sided if you want to have a bow on each side. And honestly, I think that would look kind of pretty, especially depending on, you know, the ornaments. I'm sorry, not the ornaments, but wherever somebody's displaying this, if it's going to be on like a little ornament display, or if, you know, if it's going to be kind of dangling on a tree where it's going to turn. Let's just go ahead and stick another bow back here. And again, just kind of play with the bow. Back here, we don't have to worry as much on this one. So I can make this one a little bit longer. Very cute. A little dot of glue. A little dot of glue. Okay, so here's our back. Here's our front. I'm gonna have to put a little dot of glue on this bow too, so it goes up a little bit more. And again, it's going to be kind of up to you how much. Now you want to make sure these are nice and clean on the front. If you got anything on them, I have a little something right there. So just make sure and clean them. We want it to look nice and pretty and clear. And then they make all kinds of different types of ornament hangers. Or you can just simply put some ribbon on. And again, this is something you could put onto a gift bag, onto a present, or just give the ornament alone. All right. And there we have it. Isn't that pretty? It's also pretty to put something in the center. And I think this one, because it's the manger scene, I want to put a star right here. Okay. Because it is the manger scene and we have the North Star. I think that the star would be so pretty right there. The Christmas star. So that's probably what I'll be adding to mine. I don't think I have a star embellishment right here on my table, but I definitely will be adding that. Okay. So I'll fuss with this. Add my star. I think the star is the perfect choice here. And I think it looks beautiful. What do y'all think? There's still a little, I still see a couple little wet spots of Mod Podge. Takes a little longer to dry because there's no air in there, right, between the layers. Okay, so there is that one. Now, let's do this one real quick. So I think the tinsel is so pretty because look, we can take the tinsel all the way around and the same thing. And then of course you can top off your ornament however you want. So some of you will keep yours very simple. Some of you may go like over the top with all kinds of stuff. It's just up to you. But I love that this takes away me having to feel like I have to have all these edges so perfect. So ribbon, trim, lace. This tinsel is perfect. This tinsel is not wired, by the way. It's just like a garland. And again, it's found with the miniature Christmas trees, ornaments and things like that. It's made for the miniature Christmas trees. And it's just going to make everything look good. I don't have to be so perfect. This also would be pretty as hangers. I think too, the tinsel could be pretty as a hanger for your ornament. Stick that in there. And then do you see how pretty that looks from this side? Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Pretty. Isn't that gorgeous? I think it looks so good. And of course, then you could also just do your topper however you would like for that to look. It could be a bigger bow. I probably will do, like it could even be something like this, a bigger bow. Kind of just depends on the ornament, kind of depends on, you know, what you want to see. This is probably still too small. I just grabbed a scrap that was over here. Also, your bow can be on top of this part. Okay, it can be on top of that part. It's just up to you. Let me see if I have another piece of ribbon. Oh, I do. Let's do it. Let's do some of this one. This one's really pretty. So if you're going to use a wider ribbon, you could do a smaller ribbon and do like double bows. You could do a wider ribbon like this and do my real simple bow. You just make like a tribute ribbon and you bring the center back behind, just like this. Pinch it up. And let me grab my clothespin. I like to use a clothespin to help me with these bows. That just kind of holds it in place. I'm going to use this ribbon. Knot it off. I tie it in a double knot. I love that. Isn't that going to be pretty? So once you have your bow kind of figured out, sorry, let me play with it just a minute here. Again, I don't. You see what I mean? Like you could go up like this, but here's what we don't want. This is what we don't want, because we want to see in here. So your tails are going to need to either kind of go to the side, or you're going to have to just trim your tails smaller. Okay, so that's important too. This could become the hanger if I had made it big enough. Sorry, I'm trying to hold this on here so you can see. So we could fit it on even like that. And again, we would want to come in and trim these tails, right? You don't want your ribbon, even though I know bows are pretty and all the things, we don't want those covering up our napkin art. So keep your bow stuff kind of up at the top. Okay. Even if you don't want to do a bow at all, you don't actually have to do a bow. You could do something like just coming in and adding in, you know, a sprig of something, pine cones or something up there. You know, it could be something on a pick. But again, I don't like over embellishing these. Okay. And here's why. I want the star of the show to be what's inside the ornament, right? I want it to be what's inside the ornament. So I don't like being too overly whatever here on the top. But again, that's my personal preference. So if you want to go a little crazier on the top, I like maybe just a few little sprigs and a bow. I do love the idea of putting a star right here. So I'll probably play with these and kind of get them finished up. And then I'll take pictures for you. And again, this is something they could hang on their own ornament hanger. Obviously, she's not finished all the way yet, but I just want to show you she could hang. Okay. Or, of course, she'll look beautiful on the tree. Okay. Yeah, you can use a few embellishments, but I just don't want, I mean, this, again, it's personal preference for me. I don't want all of the focus taken off of, I want you looking, you know, at the actual ornament itself, and not have what's up here overpower this. Okay? Does that make sense? Like this. This doesn't overpower this. If I put a star right here, that's not going to overpower this pretty manger scene. Right? Isn't it pretty? I'm going to try to hold it again where you can see. It's so hard with the lights. But they are so pretty, you guys. These are so pretty. They're so fun to make. And just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful keepsakes, right? Beautiful keepsakes. I love them. All right. Do you guys have any questions for me? I will definitely take pictures of these and post them on my page on Facebook. So make sure if you're not following me here, I'd love for you to just click that follow button. And I'm also going to post some pictures of some other ornaments with this same technique, just to show you some other ideas on what you can put inside of them and how you can top them. Okay. Where did I get the ornament holder? I think just about all the craft stores sell them. I know Walmart sells them. Hobby Lobby sells them. I don't know if they have any at like the dollar stores or anywhere, but they're very inexpensive. And it's just an ornament hanger. This one happens to be silver, but they have them in different colors. Yeah, but they're very, very pretty. Hanging by themselves, like their own little work of art. Having your own little work of art on display. Okay. So how did you like this technique? Do you like it? We love it. Like I said, we've been doing ornaments like this in the Napkin Club for quite some time, and they're just so beautiful, and everybody has really mastered the technique over there. They're doing a great job with them. Okay. So, oh, the gold pin. I forgot about the gold pin. Yes, the gold leaf pin. Okay, this is an option for you if you don't want to put a ribbon around it. Okay, so sorry, I was going to show that on this one. If you didn't want to put a ribbon or something around it, this is a great place to just go in with your gold leaf pin, okay, and just go around the sides, especially if you wanted to just leave it white and maybe go around it with your gold leaf pin. That could be very pretty. Also, the gold leaf pin looks great. It's much more opaque. So let me show you on this. I'll show you on this one. Sorry, thank you. So if you really want it to look like gold, 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 look at that. I mean, it's going to make it gold, gold, gold. And it just takes a second to dry. It doesn't take hardly any time at all to dry. So it's just a great way to go in and add that really luxurious gold touch. Again, if you want to do any pen work, you can do it on the back side of your ornament. You can't do it on the front of the napkin. But this is also something that, again, you could just accent with wherever you want, and it will stick to metal. It will stay on the metal, all of those things. Yeah. So if you didn't have trim or ribbon you wanted to use, you could totally just go around the edges of this with your Krylon pin. Thank you for reminding me. I actually do really love this one. I'm going to keep this one all gold. So that just shows you two different ways that you can kind of alter things using the metallic wax or your Krylon pins. Very simple to do. We have to wait till that other side dries a little bit. Yeah. So pretty, right? Okay. Don't forget to decorate the back. I think the back is important too, especially as a gift. It's just a great place to put something. And the whole point of me creating this Joy to the World bundle and the printable is because I want us to celebrate our faith for Christmas. I think it's important that we do. We don't want to lose sight of why we're having Christmas in the first place as believers. It's important that we keep that focus, not only for ourselves, but for our families and our friends. And what better way to do that than possibly to gift them with an ornament that celebrates the birth of Jesus. Okay.